With President Joe Biden giving his State of the Union address, the Erie Democratic Party hosted a watch party tonight, keeping a close eye on the president's demeanor and message. And our Marissa Thomas watched with the Erie Democratic Party, hearing the reactions of the president's speech and what they expect to see come this fall. Good evening, Marissa.
Good evening, Mike. Tonight I spoke with a couple of people with the Democratic Party, and they shared how they thought the President Biden did really well. Some were surprised by his speech being more political, and they also said topics he covered went over not only his accomplishments, but also touched on subjects that are heavily impacting Americans and will be key points for voters this fall. Here.
Well, I think this was probably the most important speech of Joe Biden's presidency, and he really knocked it out of the park. He talked about the major wins this administration has had, often undercovered by the media, and I think he put into proper context the growth that we've had in the economy, the number of Americans who are back to work, and the strength of the United States in this moment.
I mean, initially, right now, it seems like President Biden's trying to focus a lot on middle-class families, and honestly, he rightly should. His way to the White House comes straight through rural communities and suburban communities, and being able to focus on the kitchen table issues that he's talked about, being able to focus on union jobs, and I just even heard in the other room that he is working to cap the price of insulin here. I mean, focusing on these issues here is really encouraging going forward.
Well, there's no doubt that the speech was more political than most State of the Union speeches, and from my vantage point, I think that's fine. He drew a contrast as to his administration and all his accomplishments and what we can expect from the other side, and it is a stark contrast. He opened the speech talking about saving democracy and saving our liberties and having, choice for women to choose what to do with their own bodies. And I think that's a preview of what you're going to see in the campaign.
What I'm expecting is for our president to stand up for democracy, both here and overseas. We have a president that has stood up for the Ukraine. I'm very interested in this race because my life is as an American. My grandkids and my kids are Americans, and I want to see America come out as a nation which I can continue to be proud of.
I also asked tonight about how President Biden's age could impact his campaign for re-election. Tonight, Erie Dems said they thought the president looked strong, energetic, and that with him focusing on the key points that he did tonight and what's going to be on the ballot, they think he can overcome that hurdle. Live in the studio, Marissa Thomas, Erie News Now.